I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have 2 little kids. I didn't have any experience in this industry, and I went from absolutely nothing, no experience, to a pearl in 2.5 months using the Show Me the Money system. And the way I did that, I literally had a terrible taste in my mouth about network marketing. My husband worked for a company that deals a lot with network marketing, different network marketing companies. And in him being there, I was able to see a lot of different companies, a lot of different products, a lot of different compensation plans, and I was a little more involved in the back part of it than I think a lot of people know about. And because of that, I just never wanted to be a part of it. And back in February, he was introduced to Ken Rolfsness, who came up with the Show Me the Money system. And when he came home, I remember him coming home that night and just briefly sharing with me a little bit about his system. And he just kept saying, you know, I've seen a lot out there, but I've never seen anything so simple that could make it that anybody could build their business. And you know, of course, I had this negative opinion, negative vibe, and so I'm sure I nodded my head at him, but I didn't really, you know, take it any further than that. And it wasn't until April when he said, you know, I want you to watch this video. You know, it'll take about an hour to go through it, and let's just sit down and take a look at it. And it was a Sunday afternoon, and I finally buckled, more or less because I got tired of him asking me about it. And so I actually watched the SALT, and that's about a 12-minute video. And what the SALT went through was it just explained the system. And I sat down and I watched that with my husband, and literally after watching that 12-minute video, my mind had been completely changed, my opinion. Because for the first time I saw that, no, anybody can be successful in network marketing if they have the right tools and the right system. And I remember him looking at me kind of stunned, because right away I says, well, I want to do this. How do I get involved? And he says, well, you haven't even watched the whole video. Don't you want to watch the real video? And I said, sure. So the Show Me the Money DVD, not only did the DVD explain the company, but it also explained the products and the system. And so I watched the video, and still at the end I said, I'm in. I want to know how to do this. So you know, I kind of challenged him. I said, I want you to call Ken tonight, tomorrow, and find out how I get involved. And so this was a Sunday, and so on Monday after work, he gets home, and my first questions when he got in the door was, well, what did you call him? Did you ask him, you know, how I do this? And he pretty much blew me off. And to make a long story short, that happened 3 days in a row. So finally Thursday after work, he came home and I said, listen, I'm serious. I can do this. I want you to call him and find out how I get involved in this. So he calls Ken, and that's how, you know, that's how I got signed up in the business. After I watched the video probably 2 more times, I got signed up on a Thursday. I watched the video a couple more times that weekend, and I really kind of wrapped my brain around the system. And I felt like I understood how it was supposed to work. And I literally hit the ground running. So on Monday, I decided that I was prepared enough to call my closest friends and family and to make contact with them. And so I called them up and I says, listen, I come across this video and I want to email it to you. Do you care if I email it to you? I think it's incredible, and I value your opinion, and I want to know what you think about it. And so that granted me permission, and not only permission, but now they're expecting it from me. And so by doing that, on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I had my first 3 signups. So, of course, I'm saying, oh my gosh, I can do this. And not only I can do this, but the system that I first saw, that I saw the value in it, it's doing what it says it'll do. It is literally selling it for me. And all I was having to do was to make the contact over the phone and use my computer to email this video out. And so within the first 7 days, I had 5 people sign up in my business. And within 13 days, I had enough people signed up in my business that I advanced to the jade position. I caught on really quick and really easy to the system and how it worked, but I felt like I was a good closer, and so I needed to teach. There were key points in actually selling this that I needed to teach my 5 people. And so over the next month, that's what I really focused on, was going through the training with my 5 people, making sure that they were comfortable in what they were saying before they jumped out of the gate and started making all their contacts. Because the last thing I wanted them to do was to, go unprepared. I wanted to make sure that they knew the video, that they understood the video. I encouraged my people to watch that video at least 3 times before they started selling their business, before they really went out and started sending out these presentations. Because that's what I did. And I felt like how I needed to teach how I did, and obviously I had some success. I had success in what I did, so that's what I felt like that they needed to do. So now my 5 people are finding their 5 people, and I was able to triple my volume in that next month. And then the following month, I was able to go pearl. And not to mention, by hitting the jade position, I earned a trip to San Francisco. And then by hitting the pearl position, I earned a trip to Pearl Camp. And I just found out today that I'm in the top 20 of the Fearless bonus recipients and in the world. And I'm not even sure what that means, but I'm guessing to be in the top 20 in the world. It's a pretty huge accomplishment. And the funny thing, when I was looking at that, I'm not the only one in that top 20 using the Show Me the Money system. I've been asked if I go to meetings. I did not build my business doing meetings. I've never signed somebody up doing an opportunity meeting. I did not do home meetings. I literally built my business by using a telephone and using my computer. I followed the system to a T, and my team is doing the same thing, and that's how we're having the success that we're having. Some of my team asks me sometimes, should I sign them up the last week of the month, or should I just hold them off and sign them up the start of the new month? And I say, no, you need to sign them up when they're ready. If they're ready to go, sign them up today. Because odds are, if you wait that week, you won't have somebody to sign up. And so I'd rather sign them up today than take the risk of not signing up anybody next week. That's what I taught my 5, and if you continue to do that, then you won't get that question if I should do that or should I hold them off. And in this business, duplication is the key. So whatever you teach is what people think they need to teach. So if you're teaching to wait and sign up the first of the next month, well, chances are you're going to have a lot of people upset because they're not going to have anybody to sign up when that first of the month comes. So I would suggest, absolutely, you sign them up when they're ready, regardless of what the day of the month it is. I've heard that when you hold people off to the next week or whatever it is, you lose about 80% of those people that you could have signed up. So I would rather sign somebody up on the last day of the month than hold them off, because not only did you lose them, but they missed out on this opportunity. If you're new to the business, my only advice to you would be is, obviously, make sure you watch the Show Me the Money presentation more than once. Really understand it. But the next most important thing I would say is just go and do it. And I find sometimes that if you start questioning and you want to know too much, then you boggle yourself down with the things that don't really matter, and then you have a harder time getting out of the gate and really building your business. A good friend of mine asked me if I was to start all over and do this again, what would I change? And I said nothing. I would do it exactly how I did it.